My name is Josh Collier. I'm running for the County Board of Supervisors for District 4. Me and Jim are running in that district. I have been a 20-year Flagstaff resident. I went to Sonawa. I then went to NAU, have a degree in finance. My platform for my campaign is liberty, transparency, and fiscal responsibility. The liberty part of it is very important to me. That's my principles right there. When we have the government interfering with a lot of the things we do, and at that point increasing how much we pay for housing, how much we pay to get our businesses off the ground, I think it becomes a huge problem. As a nation, right now we rank somewhere between 11 and 16 for economic freedom. This is ridiculous, and we should always be at number 1. Some ways to do that are allow some of these small businesses to come in. Less business regulation, I think, is a fantastic way to do that. Some other things are lower taxes. Property taxes is always, I think, at a way too high. Then on to transparency. In the county, just recently, they decided to start videotaping meetings, which I think is great. That's one of the things I've been running on at the beginning of my campaign. At the moment, it's very tough to get information out of there. One of the things I was talking about was the liberty for, civil liberties. And one of the things that came out of the city was the animal keeping ordinance. And I thought that was a great thing for people to be able to raise their own food, to be more independent. But there was a bunch of work done on that by the city. About a month later, the county pushed theirs out. And nobody knew what was going on. There was very little input from the city. I and most other people didn't seem to even know until it went through the Arizona Daily Sun, and I think this is ridiculous. We have Jeff Orvitz on the city who does a great job of telling every vote he makes and letting people know what's coming up on his website and on his Facebook. This is the thing that I think needs to come to the county. That I can do, and even being right now that it is 5 districts with 5 Democrats, even if I get on, it's going to be tough to vote some of these things because I don't have that much push. But that's one of the things I can do as an individual, and I think that's very important. The third thing, the fiscal responsibility. We have all these things that go through that the government pushes, and they're done with the best of intentions, but we never, very rarely, every now and then, they go back and actually look at what were the goals and what actually happened. I think that's very important because very, very rarely do these policies that they put forward actually hit those goals. And so we need to either repeal or replace or basically rewrite policy when it's done in a way that doesn't help. I mean, one of the things I see right now that we're looking at, especially in the city, is the minimum wage increase. And I mean, there's not much, only us as the people can change that as it's being voted on. But at the county level, if anything like this goes through or they attempt to push anything, I am a big fan of understanding unintended consequences. Most often, if you know me, I'm either watching economists' podcasts, watching different politics type things online, not just the mainstream media, a lot of different places. And you start understanding how these policies actually affect people, but they either don't understand how they're going to affect people, or they just don't care. And I think that happens quite often. And the thing I can bring, other than the transparency part, is a very strong understanding of unintended consequences. With a degree in finance and economics being one of the things I really love and am trying to understand more and more, and being a fan of free market economics. I understand how the government runs, but how it actually inhibits us from doing business as we need to, and just makes things more important. As the government is, it's essentially never efficient, and that's just what the bureaucracy is. There's not much you can do about that, and some of that's due to transparency, which we must have on that, but it does inhibit. So we need to, as the people, have the least amount of government for what we need. I mean, on the county board, I don't think there's much I can do for privatizing, but I will not be raising taxes or not be voting to raise taxes. I will, like I said, I will be attempting to bring transparency as much as possible. Another thing that I think is big in the transparency part is body cams on law enforcement. Why I think this is important is, as we've seen, the city passed that, and those body cameras were used just recently for the officer-involved shooting, and they came back, basically, you could watch everything that ensued, and we could see that the officer did a great job, and that he used as much restraint as possible, and looked like, to me, fired when needed to be.
Josh, I'm going to have to cut you short because we've got
and so I'll just end it there.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Appreciate you.